He was turned down again and again and again. Not once, not 10 times, but more than 200 times. The man was Jack Ma, a teacher who dreamed of something bigger. But every job application, every university attempt, and even his ideas were all rejected. To the world, he looked like a failure who would never make it. But Jack refused to give up. He believed rejection wasn't the end, it was only a test. Years later, this same man would rise from endless no's to become one of the richest men alive, founder of Alibaba, admired across the globe, and a living symbol of persistence. So how did a rejected teacher transform into a billionaire entrepreneur? That's where his journey begins. Before the world knew his name, Jack Ma was just an ordinary boy from Hangzhou, China. Born in 1964, his family was poor, with no powerful connections or money to rely on. From the beginning, life seemed determined to test him. As a child, Jack was small, skinny, and constantly underestimated. He struggled in school, especially with math, which would later become an ironic twist for a man who built one of the biggest tech companies in the world. But what he lacked in grades, he made up for with curiosity and determination. In his teenage years, Jack developed a fascination with English. He couldn't afford classes, so he rode his bicycle every morning to the nearby hotel where tourists stayed. For 9 years, he offered free guided tours of Hangzhou, not for money, but just to practice speaking English. Day after day, he spoke to strangers, improving his skills while learning about the wider world. This persistence showed early signs of the man he would become, someone who believed effort could overcome any barrier. But even with his passion and grit, life didn't make things easy. After finishing high school, Jack applied to college and failed. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Each rejection chipped away at his confidence, but he refused to stop trying. Finally, on the 4th attempt, he was accepted into Hangzhou Normal University, where he studied English and eventually graduated. Even with a degree, opportunities were scarce. Jack applied for dozens of jobs and faced rejection at nearly every door he knocked on. He tried police work. Rejected. He applied at KFC when it first opened in his city. Out of 24 applicants, 23 were hired. The only one left behind, Jack Ma. At one point, he applied for 30 different jobs and was turned down by all of them. Most people would have surrendered to despair, but Jack didn't stop moving forward. After university, he became an English teacher, earning just $12 a month. It wasn't glamorous, but it was stable. Yet, deep down, Jack felt a pull towards something greater. He loved teaching, but he knew his journey wasn't meant to end in the classroom. Around this time, Jack was introduced to the internet during a trip to the United States. He typed the word beer into a search engine. The results showed American brands, German brands, but no Chinese beer. For the first time, he saw the massive potential of the online world. That moment sparked a vision. What if China could connect its businesses and products to the world through the internet? It was a radical idea, especially in the mid-1990s, when most people in China had never even heard of the internet. But Jack had a dream now, and with every rejection he had faced, from schools, jobs, and society itself, he was ready to prove the world wrong. Because while his before was filled with failure, rejection, and struggle, it was also shaping something greater. The resilience and vision that would one day transform him into a billionaire entrepreneur. And it all began with one small idea, that China deserved a place on the digital map. Armed with nothing more than a vision, Jack Ma returned to China determined to bring the internet to his country. But in the mid-1990s, the internet was a mystery to most Chinese people. Few had computers, fewer had connections, and almost no one believed it could change business. Still, Jack pressed forward. His first experiment was a company called China Pages in 1995, one of the earliest internet companies in the country. The idea was simple: create websites for businesses so they could advertise online. But the timing was wrong. The internet was too new, and Chinese businesses weren't ready. Skepticism, lack of infrastructure, and limited funds forced the company to shut down. For most people, that failure would have been devastating. For Jack, it was a lesson. He realized that the future was online, but he had to find the right approach. In 1999, Jack gathered 17 friends in his small apartment. With nothing but belief and a bold vision, he pitched the idea of building a platform that would connect Chinese manufacturers with buyers around the world. The idea sounded crazy. How could a group of ordinary people in a cramped apartment compete with established global giants? But Jack had a way of inspiring people. His energy, his belief, and his unshakable confidence convinced them to join him. That was the birth of Alibaba. The early days were brutal. They had no money, no technology, and no powerful investors backing them. Jack had to persuade friends, colleagues, and strangers that e-commerce could work in China, a country where trust in online payments barely existed. Even simple things like convincing someone to put their credit card online were uphill battles. At one point, Jack and his small team worked day and night, building Alibaba's platform while living off minimal resources. They faced constant rejection from investors. Venture capitalists laughed at them, dismissing Alibaba as a wild fantasy. Banks refused to support them, and global competition loomed. Giants like eBay and Amazon were already expanding into Asia. But Jack's persistence never wavered. He often told his team, "We will make it because we have nothing to lose." His leadership wasn't about money or titles. It was about belief that they were building something bigger than themselves. The turning point came when Alibaba focused on small and medium-sized businesses. Instead of competing head-on with big corporations, Jack opened the doors for small sellers to connect with global buyers. This strategy set Alibaba apart. For the first time, small manufacturers in China had a platform to reach the world. Even then, survival wasn't guaranteed. eBay entered China with massive funding and global reputation. Many thought Alibaba would collapse. But Jack believed local knowledge and trust were stronger than foreign power. He focused on understanding Chinese consumers, building trust step by step, and creating solutions like Alipay, an online payment system designed to make transactions safe and reliable. That move, considered risky and even stupid by some, turned out to be brilliant. Alipay gave customers confidence, and Alibaba slowly began to grow. The struggles didn't disappear overnight, but this was the moment Jack's vision stopped being a dream and started becoming reality. Because from a cramped apartment, fueled by nothing but faith, Jack Ma and his small team had planted the seed of a company that would one day dominate global e-commerce. And the world was about to notice. What began as a dream in a small apartment soon grew into a force that reshaped the global economy. Alibaba's focus on empowering small businesses paid off. Sellers who once had no way of reaching international markets suddenly found themselves connected to buyers across the world. As trust in the platform grew, so did its scale. Alibaba expanded beyond trading, introducing Taobao to compete directly with eBay in China. Despite eBay's deep pockets, Alibaba's understanding of local culture and Jack's relentless drive gave them the edge. Within a few years, Taobao crushed eBay's presence in China. Then came Alipay, the digital wallet that transformed online transactions in a country where people were once terrified of sending money online. What started as a crazy experiment became a cornerstone of China's digital economy. The results were staggering. Alibaba exploded in size, attracting millions of users and billions in revenue. By 2014, the company went public in what was then the largest IPO in history, raising $25 billion on the New York Stock Exchange. Overnight, Jack Ma became one of the richest men alive, his fortune soaring into the tens of billions. But wealth was never the only measure of success for Jack. He often reminded people, "We don't want to be the richest company in the world. We want to be the company that makes the world better." From a rejected teacher earning $12 a month, Jack Ma had become a global icon, proof that resilience, vision, and belief can turn endless rejection into extraordinary success. And while Alibaba became a giant of e-commerce, Jack's story became something more, a symbol of hope for anyone who has ever been told, "You're not good enough." Jack Ma's story is not just about business or wealth, it's about perspective. Where others saw rejection as the end, he saw it as a lesson. Where others quit after failure, he pushed harder. He was rejected by schools, by jobs, by investors, more than 200 times. Yet each no only prepared him for the one yes that would change everything. His life proves that rejection is not a wall, but a stepping stone. Today, Alibaba stands as one of the largest e-commerce empires in the world, and Jack Ma is recognized as a visionary entrepreneur. But the most powerful part of his journey isn't his billions. It's the message his story carries. Rejection does not define you. Persistence does. So, whenever life tells you no, remember Jack Ma. Remember that your before can look impossible, but your after can inspire the world. Now we want to hear from you. Which part of Jack's journey inspired you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you believe in stories of transformation, resilience, and hope, then don't forget to subscribe to Before After Stories. Because every before has the potential to become an extraordinary after.